What was that?
Yeah, right. Oh, my little shoddy clipboard situation here.
Some flower farms are sensational overnight successes. Wait, actually, are they? I think it is easy for this industry to sell a false picture of what it's like to be a flower farmer. And if you have started a cut flower garden or a small flower farm and it hasn't been a sensational overnight success, take heart. This can be a difficult industry to get into and to make a go of it. So today we're going to try to bring maybe just a little bit of honesty to the conversation. It hasn't been an overnight success for us. We had some success, but then we had to basically stop our garden and start all over again. And that's been kind of hard. The other day on Instagram, I saw a flower farmer posted that she had bought thousands and thousands of dollars worth of tulips the year before and then didn't sell one of them that spring. It was just a combination of things, weather and events and things that happened. So it was a huge loss. And I think what we need is just a lot more honesty about this can be hard. And so today we want to talk about, what to do if you feel like your flower farm has hit the skids. It's not doing very well.
One thing to do when you're struggling is to stop and ask yourself some questions. One that we like to ask ourselves every year is, do we want to keep going? Is this something we're enjoying? Is it worth all the hard work? Because it is a lot of hard work. So far, we've always said yes.
We also like to ask ourselves, are there ways that we could cut corners to free up time and, lean up our operation to cut costs and improve the bottom line that way? Sometimes you just start doing something. We have a lot of these instances. We just started gardening one way, and then we realized halfway through, we could actually do it this way to save a lot of time for ourselves. No-dig gardening was one of those.
Another question we like to ask ourselves every year is, what went well this year and what didn't? And I think it's really important to learn from the successes and from the failures. Like, they both can teach you a lot. I don't think our successes and our failures define us. I think we are who we are. But I think it's good to take note of them and let that guide our decisions.
And then there's two questions we like to ask. What did I enjoy doing? And what made money? And you should ask those two together, because if you want a successful flower farm, you should enjoy what you're doing, but sometimes that doesn't make a lot of money. So if there's any overlap between the two, maybe that's your sweet spot. Focus in on that.
Another question that's good to ask yourself is, what excites me about next year? Are there new things you want to try? Do you have anticipation for another year of gardening? That feeling or that lack of feeling can also be a good clue.
So what do you do if there seems to be no demand for your cut flowers? We've gotten that question a few times recently. And, having started up in a totally new community with our customer base not with us, we've had that same question ourselves. A few things that we like to think of or keep doing is just to change it up. If what you've been doing hasn't been working, maybe try something new. Just a few ideas for what you could try. Obviously I don't know how you've been selling your flowers, but you could try doing a CSA, which is a monthly bouquet subscription, or weekly or bi-weekly. You could try garden events, like we used to do Sip and Snips in Ohio. You could try selling flowers to florists. I tried that this year, and the one florist I talked to sort of took the wind out of my sails, so I don't know. I'm not sure if that's the route for me. If you haven't tried a farm stand, you could try that. You could do grocery bunches. There's a lot of different ways to sell flowers.
If you have found something that works, it can be good just to stick with it. A good way to find out what is doing well in your selling, and I think it's easy to get an idea of, this is selling well or that is, but until you actually look at the numbers, look at your bookkeeping, see where the numbers are, what types of bouquets or what types of events or things like that are bringing you in more money. And if you can scale that, that's a good place to start too.
I recently heard a bit of advice on probably a gardening podcast, I don't know, but they said to focus in on the season, sort of like what Rosita was saying, focus on what makes you money, but then also focus on the season that makes you the most money. And I think for me here in Arkansas, that is spring, when people don't have flowers in their yards, and then maybe fall. Summer is just too hot, and there's not much demand for flowers.
Another thing to try is offering different sizes of bouquets. In your market that you have, there's going to be different price points that people are willing to pay or want to pay. People like options, give them those options.
I think the bottom line here is just to keep showing up, to be consistent. The ones that make it as flower growers are the ones who keep pivoting and shifting and trying again, when they get knocked down.
It's also good to keep on learning. You never will know it all. And so, whether it's
Right.
new gardening methods or it's new flowers or, anything to do with the garden. And then also, like in your business, grow as a business owner. Learn how to have a lean operation when it comes to bookkeeping and all of that stuff too. You can learn so much and improve your skills in both of those areas. One good way to do that is by reading books. And if you don't want to buy the books, you can always, borrow them from the library. You can also take a class. There are many options online. We have several classes here at Root Design. You don't have to take ours, but I think it is important to learn from other flower farmers, just some of the basics, if you can afford that. If you're short on cash, you can find a lot of information for free online. You do kind of get what you pay for, though, so you will probably have to weed through that a little bit. But if you have the time and not as much money, then you can do it that way too.
My earbuds completely blanked out. Like I could see you talking, but I couldn't hear a thing.
Hey,
I don't
hang
know
on
what
a
happened.
second. Hey, sorry, I can't hear you at all. It's like, ow, 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 ow.
Remember that starting a successful flower farm is going to take a lot of hard work, consistency, pivoting, and thoughtfulness. And you can do this.
Are you done? Okay, are you done? Okay. If I can do this without giggling. Don't be afraid to start small and also to give yourself the grace and the time to figure it out. It's juggling a lot of different things. And so it's okay to start small, start as a side hustle and do it, sort of work yourself up to actually doing it full scale, if that's what you want.
And be grateful for the wins. Don't forget to write those down too. Keep a running tab of things that have gone well for you and look at it. Don't let the fails get you down. And remember to laugh at yourself. We think a good chuckle goes a long way towards making a successful flower farm.
What are you saying?
Okay,
know what
I'm
you're
going to
saying.
text you.
Oh,
Can you hear me now?
There.
He laughed a little nervously, perhaps, but he laughed. No, he said, we're not on a timeline.
You're saying that?
He's reading.